So you gotta hit her where it hurts, right? Like, Mom, I want to learn how to do this,
I
so that
don't.
when you're not
I
with me,
don't.
I can. You just gotta start crying. That's
I
it. That's the de
don't.
facto for anything. Just start crying.
Welcome to We're All Just Faking It. This is episode 21. Today we are talking about building your community, online and in person, maintaining friendships, and not feeling so isolated. With us today we have Dana, Steph, Blaze, and myself, Braylon. And I want to start us off with, what does community mean to you guys?
Community to me is just a space for like-minded individuals to, I guess, like, talk. Well, also it doesn't have to be like-minded. It could be like your neighbors or anything like that as well. So I guess just like people that you associate with.
Do you think it has to serve a purpose? I kind of feel like it should help you in some way, fulfill a need, whether it's social or work or
That's a good
Well,
way to look at it.
I would say that like people in my town are part of my community, even if I don't know them.
that is true. That's a good point. Do you you mentioned neighbors. That's why I thought of that because my neighbors, I would say also are my community, but we help each other out and we know each other. And if I need something, I could go knock on my neighbor's door and be like, help me. And or butter or sugar, I need an egg.
Have you actually ever gotten an egg from a neighbor?
I have done that before. One time when I was in high school, my mom needed an egg and she was like, I literally just need one egg for a recipe. She was like, can you go ask the neighbors? And I got an egg.
I want to say yes, but I could completely just be making it up.
Didn't you say the other day your neighbor told you that your garage was open though?
Yes, that was fucking scary because it was almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and
She was looking out.
she sweet bean. I actually remember her name too because I'm just like, I will never fucking forget your name. The other neighbor, I had to go write her name on the fridge, and then every couple months, my husband's like, "Who is this?" I'm like, because I drew an arrow on it, and oh, it's the neighbor.
I don't know what it is about me, but I also am in charge of remembering all the neighbors' names. So I know everyone that's touching my yard, which is for us is 5 houses. So and I know that's it. I know them.
Do you have a Notion template?
No, I
With a
just
map?
remember.
You should.
That would be really funny.
Oh my
Notion
God.
template with a little map, neighbors.
I
Damn it,
think.
no, I want to do it.
Do you think it's different if you live in an apartment versus a house on knowing your neighbors? Because I could not tell you a single one of my neighbors' names.
No,
I
but
could tell you their face, and I could tell you what their dog looks like, though.
I will tell you, I feel like it is up to you if you want to meet your neighbors because when I moved in, I went and talked to all of my neighbors. When we moved in the house and I was like, "Hi, hello, this is me. We just moved in this house. This is who lives here. We have 2 dogs. If you ever see them, we have a cat."
So I used to be the kind of person that when I moved into a neighborhood, I would bake maybe
Yeah.
5 8-inch cookies, and I would pipe my name and phone number on them, and I
Okay,
would go and
that's
introduce myself to
extra
my
cute.
neighbors, and I would say, "Hi, my name is Steph. We listen to music kind of loud on the weekends. If you need something or if I am bothering you, I would really appreciate it if you texted me instead of called the police on me." Because I didn't want to say, because I also have copious amounts of cannabis all the time. But really, I'm high and I'm listening to music. Can you just text me instead of calling the cops? Because I don't need that fucking kind of anxiety in my life. Really, was the point. Until I lived in Florida, and it took the one person who did not break eye contact with me, took my cookie and put it in a garbage can next to their door, and then shut the door in my face, and I never did it again.
Oh my
Because
God,
fuck
that's
people.
crazy.
That is
That's crazy.
rude.
It was, Florida.
That's crazy.
I
When
know, growing up, my parents always knew our neighbors' names. And
Yeah,
I knew
same.
their names too because
Same.
they walked at the same time every day. They would
You know,
walk the
bus stops
neighborhood,
as a
and we
kid.
just got used to the neighbors.
I will say when I was a kid, I knew all the neighbors who had kids because like I'd hang out with their children. I couldn't tell you what their names were. They were just like, I know James's mum or whatever. But I always knew like the kids and where they lived and stuff. But then like now that I live where I live now with my granny and my mom, like I know the neighbors' names, not by choice. Like I don't want to like when I'm in my house, I'm in my house. Like if I want to talk to you, like I will, but I probably don't. Like I just want to get out of my house and go to my car. I don't want to have a whole conversation because I'm normally running late. And when I get home from work, I just want to get into my house. I don't want to have to deal with like neighbor drama or like any shit. Like we have a lot of like houses that have been converted into flats as well. So like it's just like there's just too many people that I don't want to talk to. But I do know
so
a lot
funny.
of their names, unfortunately. Some of them are nice, but like I haven't bought a house to communicate with loads of people and make friends. I bought a house to live there.
My neighbor though hooks me up like I have one neighbor that they have like a massive garden and it's like two old people, like they're so old, and so she always hooks us up, like because I know her name and she has my cell phone number, she'll text me and be like, there's lemons in your backyard, or like, oh, we put a bunch of herbs on your fence. Like it's legit, it's awesome.
That's
I
so
love that.
cute.
Mhm.
I
But
want
feel
that.
like all American.
Yeah.
Like we're a lot nicer to each other.
Is that
like,
a stereotype? That's like a thing?
No, that's
that is
that's
like
a
a big
place in the
stereotype that you
world.
guys will like go out of your way to say hi to somebody, whereas like if you're in
Oh.
England, most times you're just gonna like not fucking talk to anybody. And
I did hear that Americans smile a fucking weird amount. Like a
What's wrong with
freakish amount.
smiling at people?
Well,
I
just like
literally
yes, in other
cheese
places
full
in
face
other
at people.
places in the
I
world,
said
like
to
Asian
somebody-
countries and some European countries, like they don't just like smile at people on the road. It's just like walking by. That's a very American thing to do,
so
apparently.
in the UK, there's most people in the UK will know exactly what I'm about to say. There's a face that we do when we see people. It's like just completely like straight, like. And then a
Here
little
they
nod,
say
and
that's
that-
a white people thing. People talk
Yeah.
about how like if you see a white person on the street, they're gonna like do that like weird closed mouth smile thing. So which is why I
That is
consciously try to full teeth smile at people, which I probably look like a crazy person sometimes, but I feel like I have a cute smile and I might like spread a little joy into someone's life by like seeing someone at the grocery store. We make eye contact. I'm just gonna
So on the
Smile.
stereotype of American people being nice, I said to somebody once, "Have a nice day," and they were like, "That's a bit American to say."
oh my god!
Kidding?
No,
That's such a
Legit.
simple statement.
So I was like, "Oh, thank you. Have a nice day." And then someone was like, "Why are you saying
American
have a
of
nice
you.
day?" Like,
We're rubbing off on you, Dana.
Ew. I feel like don't have a nice day. Is that like
it's
are you
so
excuse?
interesting. Yeah, no, you guys have a real big stereotype that you'll like go out of your way to talk to people. Like, not all of people are friendly. Obviously, that's why it's a stereotype.
So
But
like
like, yeah, that is a
I
big.
if you're
hear
like
more about
queuing in
Canada.
line at the bank, like and it's like a long line, like are you talking to the people that you're in line with, or like if you're
Why
at the
would you
grocery
talk
store?
to people in the line?
No, I avoid.
I
I
don't
definitely
talk to anybody
do.
in
Don't
line.
talk to
I
anybody.
don't want to be here.
I hope
Oh,
that
if
no
I'm
one
by
talks to
myself,
you.
I will talk to everyone in line where I'm at. Like I will make a
So
comment to the
you're that
person next to
person.
me at the grocery store. Like if there's someone next to me at the grocery store and I like have something to say, like I'm just gonna say it to the person who's next to me. Like, huh, they changed the peanuts. Peanuts are different now, and they're like, like,
Yeah, if you did that in the UK, we'd just be like, "Why the fuck is this person talking to us?" Like,
How often are you here?
yeah.
we
I'm a big
we would probably
talker.
like avoid like contact. Like,
That's
That's really funny.
amazing.
So
Oh,
does that
that's
mean
so
if I
funny.
ran into you guys in public and we like weren't friends and we were at the grocery store and I said something to you, you would be like, "Wow, that girl is so weird."
yeah,
No, I would totally talk to you. I would engage you at the same level, if not more enthusiasm, and then I would think about it the rest of the day. Like
I was gonna say, would you go home and tell your husband? Like,
It would bother me the rest of the day that you thought I was like mocking you or like mean or something. Yeah, or I would straight up hand you my phone and be like, "Do you want to be best friends?" And
I
What
did
the
have
person said
No
about
one
the
recalls
peanuts
back.
in the store, like, and a random person said about peanuts in the store talking to you, and you'd be like, I need that person's phone number.
You know, sometimes it just as like an adult, it is incredibly hard to make friends. It is
It
incredibly
is.
hard to meet
is.
people. Like we went to a dinner the other night and I like got numbers of people there, but then I'm like, so I did text back the group a little bit later because we had carbonated grapes. So I was just like, I'm still thinking about that carbonated grape. And then
What?
one person replied and then no one replied. And that's how friends are.
Group
Carbonated
chats are
grape.
scary, by the way.
Well, I mean,
I don't think that they're
eh.
ideal. Like, a lot of people I know are like, I will not ever talk in a group chat.
It was their idea.
I love group chats.
I don't.
The people that I am close proximity with in real life, like, are like, no group
Yeah.
chats.
I don't know.
Oh.
I feel like Discord is different. I don't see that as a group chat, but like
No, yeah,
the,
that's
like,
way different.
the Facebook group chats, they're always like really like busy randomly, and then like they drop off, and then like
Mhm.
most of the time you end up just leaving them because like you're not actually talking in there anymore. You
That's
know that people have got
dated
little like
somebody
mini
that
group
doesn't want to
chats going
chat.
on that it doesn't include one of the people in it. and
That's
then
called a
like,
sidebar.
is it? I did not know
Yes.
that had it yet. So then you end
It
up
has a
having
name.
5 sidebars for a bloody group chat because each one you want to exclude a certain and I'm just like, what is the fucking point? Like, oh my god! Every single group chat on Facebook that I'm in, and on WhatsApp, actually,
Oh,
apart from a work one and a family one, I've left or I no longer participate in.
Work
But
group
that's
chats shouldn't be
Facebook.
allowed.
Oh, ours is just
I
for
would
organising
absolutely
events.
hate that.
Like,
that
do you want to
makes
hang out for
sense.
drinks and stuff?
That makes sense.
And then my family one, unfortunately, I don't have a choice in. I was born into this family.
It is going back to like what Steph said though, like as an adult, like how the heck are you supposed to make friends? The only ways that I know of is like online, which then you're lucky if they're close to you, at work, or literally like going to community events. Is that our only options? I did make a friend at Trader Joe's one time.
Oh, see, Braylon can just talk to random people in shops.
I can just make
That's
friends
the extra
anywhere and
way.
everywhere.
Braylon
This
is
true.
that person.
But
Yep.
define friend, right? Because there's a lot of people that I have met passing in my life where I would consider a friend. I literally never talk to them. So
I'm kind of the same. Like, I consider everyone my friends if we've like hung out like once. But like then I have good friends that are like people that I actually talk to.
I
Which
would
some people
say-
might call that an acquaintance.
Yeah,
you know?
I was just about to say that actually. I was just about to say I would call those people acquaintances. I mean, if I don't hate you, we're probably acquaintances. If we talk, then we're probably friends. And if we're like talk all the time, in my head, I'm like, oh my god, are we best friends? But like,
I love that.
it's like, oh my god, we're best friends. But
That's how I categorize people as well.
But yeah, I think it's really hard though because those are basically our only options. I feel like as a kid, you could like go to the park and you just like randomly see another kid there and you'd be like, hey, and then you'd be like friends and you play the whole time and then you go home and never see that person ever again. But you'd be like, oh, that was my friend, you know, Susie or whatever. And now it's like, who actually random adults want to talk while they're in a queue or like randomly, and like I try and be nice to people and say, oh my god, I love your dress, but I wouldn't go over to a random stranger and be like, I love your dress, and
You
then
wouldn't?
that person be like, we're friends, you know?
I pretty much if I
mean-
want to say something to somebody in public, like I'm gonna do it.
I just feel like if I was randomly in public and some random person came over to me and was like, I like your dress, I think maybe I would like.
But what if it was like me? Just like imagine another Braylon that came up to you. Oh my god, your outfit is so cute. I love Harry Potter. Like, what's your favorite movie? And then you would be like, oh my god, we're friends now.
Okay, actually, that just thinking about that, I was like, that would be
I told you. You guys, when you're imagining somebody random coming up to you, you're imagining somebody that like you would never be friends with. But imagine somebody you would be friends with come up to you and it's like, holy shit, you like Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. Let's talk about it. Then you'd be like, do you want to like go get dinner and talk about Harry Potter? Like,
yeah.
that would probably be a more realistic outcome, maybe.
I wish I met
definitely.
people like that.
I
It's just
mean,
not really a thing people do, though, is it? Like when you're a kid, you like can go up to people and like talk to them, and you like feel. I feel like as a kid, it was a lot easier to make friends than it is now because you are very limited,
Totally.
like extremely limited. And then like for me, where I work, a lot of people are like a lot older than me, like
Older?
they're not my age. Like for a long time, I've been like the youngest person in our company, like. You know, and I'm like 24, so I'm not even that
I
young.
feel that hardcore.
Yeah, Blaze, I was gonna say it's
I
probably about
am
the
the
same.
youngest.
But like I think that what makes it harder going from kids to adults is that we lose the ability to just go up and talk to people. Like I think as kids we don't care if somebody's like, I don't want to play. You're like, whatever, and you like move on, right? Whereas as
Yeah.
adults we like care more. We think that other people are gonna like care what we're wearing or like what we look like. Like we put up these walls as adults, I think, that kind
I
of makes it
wonder.
difficult for
yeah.
everyone.
I do
Much
wonder if
larger
like
walls too.
high
Yeah.
school / secondary school where everyone starts like being clicky and
Yeah,
like
that kind of ruins us a
I
little
wonder
bit.
if that ruins it for us.
I think so. I would say that definitely
totally
plays a part.
think it ruins it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
kids
you're
are
like introduced to all
cruel.
that like rules that you're not aware of, and like hierarchies, and like if you wear the wrong outfit then you're ostracized, and like you try and talk to people and they're like, oh, you're not like
They
cool
might be
like
mean to
that.
you or just
Yeah.
like ignore you. Whereas
It's
like
not
real
like
adults in real life, like if you went up to somebody like at a concert or something, right, and you like try to be their friend and they like gave you the up down and like scoffed at you, like that would never happen. Maybe, but I feel like it's very unlikely that somebody would just be rude to you,
yeah.
like straight
I-
up in public.
I mean, it does happen. Cannabis has not been fun in that sense. Now, granted, I don't think I've had this happen to me. I feel like the worst thing that I've had happen to me trying to make friends anywhere in my own industry is like I thought I found someone really cool and then they just like ghosted me and I was like, "Okay, but we work in the same industry." So,
I think that's more a problem on
cool.
them. Like they
Oh
have
no,
unresolved
completely.
issues.
Oh, completely. But it's just it does happen. It's just definitely the sense of maturity level across it, and then it depend like right the social expectation is really what dictates.
I mean, actually, you make a good point because I had this really good friend before COVID, and we were networking buddies. So I met her in a networking group, and like if you go to a lot of networking groups and you're young, you will often be the very youngest person there. Like my networking groups were typically people like 20 years older than me. So when someone young is there, you're like, "Ooh, cool, friends." And we became good friends and we networked all the time. And like right before COVID, we were starting our own networking group for young professionals and COVID hit and I have not talked to her since. Like we just like we lost that common interest. We tried to hang out like once or twice and I was like, this is weird. Like we have nothing in common. We lost our thing that we had together.
So I mean, do you feel like community I don't want to use the word transactional, but like you no longer served each other, which is completely fine. Does there have to be a transactional aspect to building your community?
I don't think it's transactional so much as it's like you need to have maybe like a common interest of some type.
I would definitely say common interests.
And I think like say you had like a D&D group for instance and you all like got together and you loved playing D&D and you did that for like 2 years and then like your group broke up. You might not hang out with those people anymore unless you had some common interests outside of that with them. And I don't think that says anything bad about people. I think that's just like whatever brings you together with that person. If that like dissolves, then that whole relationship might also dissolve. Maybe it's just if it's built upon like one core common interest, a relationship, and then that disappears, or a community, like it's the whole thing's probably gonna fizzle out.
I agree.
Friendships are effort. Shit is effort, man. You gotta.
That's
You
the other
can't
thing,
really
too.
expect more than what you put into it. But like maintaining friends is fucking hard. I usually fall off. I can be super active and social for a few months, but then after a while, unless like the energy's being matched, I can't maintain.
As somebody who has like a pretty big like friend group, like a traditional, friend group, I will say that there is one person that makes everything happen in that friend group. And if that one person woke up tomorrow and said, you know what, next year I'm not planning any get-togethers, nobody would hang out. Like, it's like literally nobody, like the whole friend group would just fall apart.
That's
See,
that's
I
fucking
was that
crazy.
person. I was
You
that
were that
person who- yeah, so like someone would say we should do this, and then unless I was like, oh yeah, what day, blah blah, it would just be like, if I was just like, oh yeah, we should do that, and then left it, it would never happen. And then like people would be like, well, and I'd be like, well, we never hang out, and then there's like, well, I've suggested all these things. I'm like, there's no follow through from you, though, is there? Like, you're expecting me to do it all, aren't you? You're expecting me to pick a day and me to decide and try and spend like weeks and weeks to drag out a time and date from all of you that you're free. Like, after a while, it just gets to the point where I'm like, why is it always like, I don't know, for the person in your friendship group, but after a while, it's like, why is it always me? Like, why am I the only person doing this?
Oh,
Like,
no, she
and
loves
it's
it.
so hard to get people to answer you sometimes. Like, what day are you free? Oh,
That's very true.
these days I'm not free, but I might not be free on this day. And if it's that week, I can't do that. And it's like, no, what days can you do? Not what days can't you do? It's so frustrating.
I will say our friend that does that, literally there is no planning of things. You just get a text like 6 months before the thing, and she's like, this is the date, this is the time, put it in your calendar now.
That's
Like, well in advance.
That's what you gotta do, so that
Yeah.
people can't say, oh, and go back and forth for like weeks.
The
Yeah.
thing is, though, if I did stuff 6 months and maybe even 6 weeks in advance, the person would still like. I feel like most
Cancel
of
on you
people
last
would
minute.
cancel last minute, like an hour beforehand, maybe.
I
Like,
don't
just
know,
be like,
maybe
"I can't go."
everybody, I don't know why our friend group, like, that does not happen, and I think it's because the person that plans it is like, she's fantastic, but like, she would be scary if you canceled on her, you know?
That's what I'm missing.
You gotta be like a
Yeah.
little, you know, like, you're coming to this, there, no is not an answer. But
I
like,
have,
I don't want to
yeah.
be like that, you know?
No, I do organize quite a lot actually. For another, I guess they're not really. I don't know. I guess a friendship group, like ex co-workers, we all hang out sometimes. And I normally end up being the person who organizes everything, just because I would say I have more time. I don't think I do actually have much time at all.
Do you
for
think
it,
that
but,
you like it?
I like hanging out with them, so I do it. I
You're
do
just
it so
doing
that
what
we
needs to
can
be
hang
done?
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then I know, and also if I get to do it, I know like I can check
You're in
things
control.
and I can look at the parking and I can look at the menu and I can, you know, I mean, I'm not too fussed on the days and times and stuff, but if I can get it so that it's a day that works better for me as well and that works for everyone else, why not? You know?
I love
And if
that.
someone has a problem with that, they're more than welcome to take over. I always say like anyone can plan, but no one ever wants to because it's just too much aggro, because you're trying to get answers from people and it takes ages and you're chasing people. And that's what I've got going for me. And that's why our Christmas do is on a Wednesday, because I don't stream on a Wednesday.
Maybe that's the key if you want to have a community, is you need somebody that's going to actually like do the work. And that might have to be you if you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I would really like a group of friends to go like do stuff with. Like, you could have to be in charge of planning and taking over and doing all the things.
I think as long as people are like grateful at the end of it, it's not that bad. If people like get there and they're like, oh, I didn't want to go here, or like, oh, the day is really inconvenient, I'd be like, okay, well, did you have any input? Did you say anything to me about this when I asked you what days were best for you? And if not, then I'm going to be like, well, tough shit, because you had every opportunity to say something and you didn't. So, because ultimately, if everyone is leaving it to you to be planned, then like they kind of have to put up with what has
They
been
can't
planned.
complain.
You can't have
Yeah,
it both ways.
yeah. If you're going to complain, you need to be the one that plans it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Otherwise, shut up and smile.
I'm the type of person who is the just shut up and smile person.
You seem like pretty good with the flow, though.
I am. I can't be bothered to make all these plans. I don't want to. It overwhelms me. Someone else do it.
Do you know what's funny? In my family, we go on like amazing vacations and we have like great dinners and like there's all kinds of things. And I always tell my sisters, I'm like, if our mom dies, like all of this shit is going out the window. Like, who is going to take over planning all this stuff? Like, nobody. Nobody would do it, and we would just there would go like my mom plans our vacation so far out ahead and gets like nice Airbnbs and like really puts a lot of thought into all this stuff. And like even within our own family, that is still the dynamic, is that if she quit that, like none of us would start it up again. But we all enjoy it so much. What is wrong with us? Everybody needs to be better at organizing things, okay? That's what I'm getting here in the message.
What
None
My
of us want
mom
to do
is
it.
that person who organizes things as well, and like same, if she died like tomorrow or something, like none of the family events would probably ever happen.
Yeah, like how do you have Thanksgiving without your mom? Like
Yeah.
our like literally like holidays and vacations would just completely fall apart.
You should
So, I
spin a
mean-
bottle, and whoever it lands on, they are the new mom.
They're
Does
the
that
new
motivate
mom.
you?
Yeah.
Does that motivate you at all, like with Thanksgiving coming up, to like do all of that planning, like with that person, and then like kind of understand how they do it?
Because
and-
like Dana, she wants to be in control and wants to make all the decisions and is like, get out of here, you know?
But so you gotta hit her where it hurts, right? Like, Mom, I want to learn how to do this,
I
so that
don't.
when you're not
I
with
don't.
me, I can. You just gotta start crying. That's it.
I
That's the
don't.
de facto for anything. Just start crying.
I don't want to learn how to do Thanksgiving. It scares
I
me.
would
Although
like to-
next year, I fully am having a stoner Friendsgiving. Wear your pajamas. You'll be
That
invited,
sounds
Steph.
nice.
I don't want to do fancy Friendsgiving anymore. I'm over it. I don't want to put on cute clothes to eat food. Let
yeah,
me wear
you're eating
my
food.
sweats.
Why do you need to dress up to eat food?
I don't
just wanna
know,
have a
please.
Friendsgiving.
I don't know.
Also,
See,
then
no-
your clothes are all tight.
I
and you're
know.
uncomfortable. Like, come on.
That's why you
See,
need
I
Joey's
did.
Thanksgiving pants. Like,
Yes.
I did Thanksgiving or a Friendsgiving, but it was like Thanksgiving.
That's what I want to
and
do, Steph.
We just got like okay, so I am happy to plan like a smorgasbord of food and cannabis, and we start eating at like 1 o'clock,
Uh-huh.
and
And
then
we just eat.
take a nap, and it's like come in sweats. Are you kidding
Yes.
me? Fucking yoga pants.
This
Like
is
we're
my
eating
ideal.
Thanksgiving dinner.
I now have a dining table that can seat 8 people, so I'm like, let's have a little Friendsgiving.
I mean, I love that you want to use the dining table. We
do.
honestly stopped buying one because it's just like more comfy to have reclining couches.
We eat on our couch always. We have not used the dining table for like our family
That's why we
like
stopped
roommate,
buying one.
you know,
yeah,
dinner.
I eat at my desk.
I always wanted to, and then we just never did. So
We had
just got rid
A
of the
whole
table.
dining room though that was just empty that now has a dining table and it looks great. It helps for the community, which I have lack thereof. Honestly though, I think about this all the time going to community. Like my community in person is my family. Like they're the only people I hang out with. And it's at least like I go to dinner with or lunch with my mom like at least twice a week. We do like a family dinner once a week. Me and my sister hang out. Like that's my social life. And all my friends are online. And then the like once every 3 months that me and Steph hang out. when we get the courage to go to one another's houses.
See, I don't even hang out with my family because they don't. So my mom doesn't have a job at the moment, so she can't afford to go anywhere, even if she wanted to go out for lunch or something. My granny doesn't like going out for lunch because she's diabetic, so she has to take all of her like injections and stuff with her, insulin and stuff. And then like my cousin's got a baby now, so she's like busy with that. Like my cousin used to be my best friend. Like we used to do everything together, and like now I just spend most days in my room
Dana,
at my desk.
I just had a realization. Are you an only child?
I am, yeah.
Oh my gosh, why did I feel like I never have you said that before? I
Yes.
feel like I just now thought
I
about
totally
this.
have. I don't have any siblings, no.
She said that.
Wow. Why did I not like register that in my brain?
I'd be
That
less
does
Make
make
lonely.
it harder.
God, being an only child is great. What do you mean?
You don't think
I-
that it makes it more difficult for you though? Because like if you're not an only child, like you have built-in friends. Like my sisters, like they're gonna be my friends forever.
I do feel
It's- I
lucky
mean-
though, like I have my cousins and I do feel like my cousins are like siblings to me.
Yeah, totally.
but-
They can
but
be.
like most of the so I have one of my best friends, Ellie, she's my cousin, but she lives near where my grandparents live, like hours away, so I never get to see her. And then
That
like
does suck.
my cousin's here, like my boy cousin, he's a chef, so like he's always working, like his hours are awful. And then my other cousin has a baby now, so like she's got so many responsibilities now, bless her, and I love them all so much, but like I see them at birthdays and Christmas.
What about you,
I
Blaze?
and today I saw them today.
Because if
I
you have
kind of got the
siblings-
best of both worlds in that regard. Because, like, I have siblings, but I'm also kind of like an only child because they're
You're
so
so
much
much
older
younger.
than me.
Yeah,
But,
that is true. Like you were raised
forgot
in the
what I was
house
saying.
mostly by yourself,
yeah,
probably.
I was raised in the house with them because my brother stayed. He went to college in like our hometown.
Oh,
So
that's
one
nice.
of them, he was in the house until he was like 22, probably.
By the
22.
time I kind of had a little bit of that, by the time I was like 13, both my sisters were gone and they did not come back. Like one summer, my sister lived with us again, and I was like, "This is the best summer ever. Can you please stay?" She did
It
not.
also helps because like in my hometown, my mom's sister, her husband lived there. Also my grandparents now live there. So we used to get together with them once a week, like every single week. I know since I've moved out, they don't do it as often, but they used to do it like once a week.
That's really nice. We had a phase like that too, where we were doing like a big family dinner once a week.
Yeah, every like Saturday or Sunday we'd get together, and even when I like go home to visit them, we all get together.
You know what my favorite kinds of communities are? Ones where you don't have to plan things. Like think about like when I was in college, I was in a sorority. At any time I could just go to that sorority house and like friends would be there and they would just be chilling. Like you never had to make plans. And the same kind of thing is like with church when you're a little kid. I grew up going to church every Sunday. I grew up going to youth group every Wednesday. And it's like those recurring things where like you don't have to think about making the plans. You just know like you show up and your friends are there. That I love that. I love that kind of stuff. I don't know what if it has a name, but
Yeah, I also miss like when you were younger and you could be like, "Hey, do you want to do something on Saturday?" And like people didn't have plans because we were young, and they'd be like, "Yeah, let's go into town," or like, "Let's go out to eat" and stuff. And like now, saying like, if I said to like, well, I don't have many friends now, but previously, like I had friends. If I said to one of them like, "Do you want to hang out tomorrow?" or like, "Hey, on Saturday, do you want to do something?" It would be like, let me check my schedule. Oh no, sorry, I have to do this with my mom, or I'm busy doing this with my like boyfriend or whatever. Or like, oh, I'm busy because I've got to go do chores or something. Like, it's like so much different now that we're all adults, that we have like actual responsibilities.
I know it does make it harder. That's why I love like even this podcast. Like we know that we're gonna get together. You know what I mean? And it like that way we don't have to think about it. We
It's
don't have to
nice.
think about like making plans because honestly, if we didn't have this podcast, like how often would we sit in a Discord call together?
I'm honestly a very like finicky person when it comes to making plans and stuff like that. So having the podcast is like I know I'm gonna come. Like earlier this week, I was like, I'm feeling meh about it, but I'm gonna show up, and I'm glad I showed up. So.
We're glad you showed up,
Braden was
too.
like, "Dana, are you gonna come?" I was like, "This is my only socialization outside
You're like,
of
yeah,
work.
I'm
Like,
coming.
yeah, I'm coming. I'm gonna be here."
Online friendships, honestly, I think like we've talked about this so much. I feel like because we all have such good like online friends, but it just is so nice and easy. But it's funny though at the same time that we all just said if we didn't have concrete plans, we wouldn't just like hit each other up to be like, "Hey, do you want to sit in a Discord call?" So like I think that the problem with the lack of community is just everyone. Nobody
I mean-
wants to do the work.
That is the whole goal, though, like of my own personal community, just like online. Like,
Yeah, like your Discord and like your stream community and stuff. You are
I'm
doing the work for
striving-
that big time.
Well, kind of not really. I mean, which is why I'm making all the changes that I am. But like my ultimate goal is that there is usually someone hanging out in a Discord call like together. So it's like I do it in my
People-
husband's all the time. Like they're just
You're just
always
in there?
in there.
Really?
Always. One of his
That's
friends
like
are
Reagan's
always in
friend
his
group.
Discord
They're in the Discord right now.
all the time.
They're
just,
just
like, in there.
basically from the time that they wake up until
So,
the time
yeah,
that they
you
we'll
sleep,
just pop
unless
in.
Here's the
working.
thing. Here's the thing. Those Discords, I feel like I figure out why that is. Those Discords have like 15 people in them. Like it is
Well,
just their real friends.
Yeah, true. Well,
Because,
yeah,
like,
true.
that
It's
makes a
people
big
they've been
difference.
gaming with for like the last 20 years. So a lot
Yeah.
of them they haven't met in real life, but like they've been gaming together for like 20 years, so they talk like
that
they're old friends.
Makes sense.
like,
like
yeah.
if you're in
So
a
just go
Discord
pop in and
with
sit alone.
like 500 people, you're not just going to be sitting in a voice chat all day, because here's the thing. You don't know who's going to join that voice chat with you.
Yeah.
And opening yourself up like socially to like the potential of a bunch of random strangers joining you is way more social anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
But also, like, in my Discord, I think I have like 40 people in, and I don't know, sometimes I go in the Discord, like, in a Discord channel, like, for like co-working or something. But, like, I don't know, I feel like most of the time if someone's in a Discord channel, like a voice chat, it's gonna be, like, by themselves, like, because, I don't know, maybe it's because we all are kind of, like, anxious people.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
We're, like, scared to, like, join in case they're, like,
Mhm.
fuck off. But actually, like, I feel like if you're in a voice channel, you're opening yourself up to talk to people. So, like, it would be okay probably if you did join. But I feel like we're all very anxious people. So none of us sit in the voice channels.
Also,
I
you
think that's
really
true.
do, with like your own Discord community, like you really do have to lead by example. Like, I don't know why, but like if you get into voice chat, I feel like sometimes more people will join versus like expecting other people to just
Mhm.
join a voice channel, because people will always be like, does anybody want a VC? But like you could just join the voice chat. This is what I want to say to them. You could just join the voice channel and then somebody else will probably join you. Like,
I do understand
of
why you would
asking,
ask, though.
I get it
because, like,
too.
if you go in and then no one joins you, then you're like, well, why did I do this? It's like almost like rejection, I guess, for them. Whereas if
Yeah.
they like type it and then no one answers, then it's okay. Like, you know.
Tempers
Oh,
the
you think?
expectation. I'm
I
trying to
feel
get
like
more
it would make
comfy.
me feel worse if I was like, does anyone want a voice chat? And nobody answered me. Like, I'd be like, oh,
If I went into a
cool.
voice chat and no one joined, I'd be like, great, why have I done this? Whereas if I just
But
put it
no
in,
one do, right?
Yeah, it would be
It's
so
like
sad
you don't get
if no one
notification when
joined.
someone joins a voice chat. Like there's no notification sound
Yeah.
for that. Like you just kind of hover. So like I'm trying to get more comfy with it. I'll do it on the nights where like I'm not streaming or if I'm like just working on something. I'll just go join VC and throw the music pod in there and then just like kind of chill. But it's like, after like 3 hours of sitting by myself in VC, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here and not be in this voice chat by myself because it's sad at this point. Like it feels sad. It's like drinking alone.
yeah. It's like when I do like a movie night and then like for half of it I'm just like by myself. And I'm like, I mean, it's not too bad because I'd be watching it by myself anyway, but it is sometimes you're in there like, oh my god, like it's why I stopped doing movie nights for a while.
I mean, that's
But
like
it's not,
streaming by yourself as well.
I
And
feel
at
like
a
that's
certain point, you're
content,
just like,
though.
oh, why am I even streaming?
Well, okay. So, like, to an extent, I feel like that particular point, Dana, like movie nights, consistency is key. And if you advertise consistently, and it's like any other content, consistency is what is gonna get you to that.
Yeah,
end
I mean,
goal,
that's what I did in
right?
October. I did all the Halloween towns, and like we got, I think, 2 or 3 people at a time, which was
Yeah.
really nice. And then like I think a couple of people came in that hadn't seen them before, and other people hadn't seen them in a while and stuff. And like I'd seen the first 2, but I hadn't seen the last 2, so it was really fun. But the reason I only did it as October is 1, because we're getting into Christmas and people are just not gonna have time, and 2, because
Christmas, yeah.
I can't do that commitment every week or every other week because people won't join, because it will be like, because we had a theme and this is what we're watching instead of me
It was, like,
asking what people
exciting.
want to watch. Yeah,
Mhm.
because before I was doing it, I was asking people, and people don't always want to choose. They just it boils down to what we were talking about with communities and stuff. Like you just
People
want someone to plan something. You don't
Yeah.
want to have to choose. And but I
Yeah.
always like to think I'm like a democracy. I don't want to just pick for people and
You
stuff. but
should.
yeah,
Yeah,
It
you
is
should
one of
pick
those
for
things,
people. Sometimes people just don't want to pick. So
No,
just choose for them.
and
They'll
it's like
show up if
completely
they want to.
understandable.
Also, like events like what Steph was saying, like when we do like events at work, like there is a woman right now who is doing an event every single Wednesday at our space and has been for 3 months. And she's like, I'm probably going to have to do this for like 7 months until we get any kind of traction. Like she shows up every week by herself to this thing and just like consistently is there and will slowly over time build a group of people. But like if you were to do a movie night, once a month and it was the same day and the same time and you just picked a movie, that probably would, by month 10 you probably would have 15 or 20 people in there watching a movie with you.
Yeah, I think though, like if
But
I was
that's a
that
lot of
woman,
work.
I'd be
And
crying.
Yeah, it is. It's
Oh
a
my
lot of work. So, I mean, like, I'm happy to sit with you guys too on some days. And just like we do with podcasts, like we've got our own community here. We plan our podcast 3 months out. Let's plan your movie nights 3 nights out or 3 months out and figure out like what you want to do. And then we'll put together the brain dump of all the assets you're going to need for it and like what dates they should go out. And then we'll just fucking knock it all out. And then you schedule it and then you don't worry about it until like month 2.5 when you're like, fuck, I got to plan the next quarter, rinse and repeat that stress. Ugh, gross. That's my life. That's like my day job. That's literally what I do for work every fucking day.
I do find it like interesting though, like we literally just spoke about the fact that like some people are planners, some people are just go along with it and stuff, and then like it is exactly the same for online though as well, because Raylan's like, oh, we used to go to youth club, we used to do this. Well, this is technically your youth club because it happens every other Sunday. It's a planned thing. You don't have to like schedule anything. It's happening. And it's really
I love it.
interesting how like online is very similar sometimes to like in real life,
So basically,
like the way people act.
if you are in a great community, whether in person or online, you should maybe thank the person who is running all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is a lot of work to
Yeah.
wrangle people. And I'm sure that they are underappreciated.
Oh, for sure, because like people do just like kind of go to it because that's what they're used to, and it's not to blame anybody because like if someone always does it, you just assume they like doing it and you go ahead to doing it and stuff. And the other day, someone said to me, "Thank you so much for planning this. Like this is really nice of you," and stuff. And I was like, "Oh my god." I'm not used to anybody just like saying thank you because it's just kind of expected because that's what needs to be done so we can hang out. So yeah, I was like really it was a really nice surprise actually.
Also, if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't have community, you know what you need to do now.
Join the Discord.
Become a planner.
Well, or become a planner. Also know that it's like not your fault if you're sitting around like, wow, I don't have a community, because we've established that it is very difficult, takes a lot of work and some dedicated people. So don't feel bad if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't have any community. I think it's maybe more human natural at this point to not have it than it is to have a great community of some type.
Yeah.
I
Also,
mean, even with the resources that we have, like I feel a lot of times that I don't have a community. It's just like
Same.
this is a normal feeling, and I feel like for
Totally.
me, at least this week, it was PMS, but I don't know. We're still working that out. It's been a big week with a lot of big feelings. So
it's hard because when I first started streaming, I always used to be like, oh, I only have like 2 friends. I don't really have many friends, blah blah. And like now I don't have many in real life friends, but online I would say I have loads of friends, and it's really nice. Like that change for me was like really nice because instead of going, oh, I don't really have any friends, to being like, oh my god, I have loads of friends, and like I talk to people in the Discord or in stream and stuff like that, and like genuinely there are people that like come in and I'm like, how are you doing with this thing that you mentioned last time and stuff, and we know things about people, we're not just like, it's not just superficial, just like, oh hi, I always see you in my chat, hi so and so. It's like you're building like relationships with people. It's really nice.
I think it's easier to have friends than it is to have a whole dang community. Like, it's easier
Yeah.
to have a group of 5 people that you guys check in with each other. Like, that's where the online stuff is easier. You talk to each other more. You know more about our like lives. Rather, like my IRL friends, like for instance, girls I was like friends with in my sorority, like we never texted or like checked in often. Like it was just like when we saw each other at the thing, and like church friends, like stuff like that. You're not like talking every day. At least I wasn't. It was like you only see each other at that time when you go to hang out, you know? But online friends are so great because you do talk way more. At least if you're in like a Discord community with people, which if you're not, you should find a Discord. Ours is great. We all have them as well. Like find one for a niche that you like, join it because there's people in there talking all day. And like at any point
Also,
if you want to jump in and like talk to people, like there's people there that you can chat with, and I think it's the barrier for online talking is like easier.
It
I
really
find
is.
in real life, friends, you normally only have one social media that you use when you speak to them. Whereas, like, online friends, I feel like we have Discord, we have Twitter, we have Twitch, we have TikTok, we have Instagram. Like, there's so many different places that someone might talk to you. Like, I sometimes message people who I always talk to in Discord. I might see something on Twitter and I'll send it to them and be like, oh, hey, you like this stuff, don't you? Like, look at this and stuff like that. Whereas, like, I know that I have friends in real life or had friends in real life, depending on like the years and things, that only exclusively used Messenger or only used WhatsApp or only ever spoke on Instagram. Like, you wouldn't be able to talk to them on multiple platforms. So that's also kind of really hard because, you know, it's easier to talk sometimes like on Discord. Like, I only want to use Discord. Other times I'm on Twitter and I see something and I want to send stuff in Twitter. So yeah, I do find it really interesting. Kind of in real life, you're kind of you wouldn't think it, but in real life, you're more like stunted with your options than you are with online friends, I would say. Also,
I
I feel
mean,
like video calls are more of an online friend thing.
yeah, I much prefer to have my interactions online, and it's okay to the thing with online that bugs me is you don't really know the person, and I don't know why it feels so different from when you know somebody in real life versus when you only know somebody on the internet. But for some reason it's much easier on the internet. Maybe it's because the time that you have together is limited, or because you don't share the same friend circles in the same manner. I don't know. I've been thinking about that one a lot, but the dynamic is definitely different.
I think I would have like I would have continued more in real life friendships that I'm not friends with anymore if we did video calls, because it's so much easier. You're in your house, you don't have to move, you don't have to go anywhere, and you don't have to, if you just want to spend 20 minutes and then you've got to go and you've got to do something, you can do that. But you can also get ready while you're on the call. You can do, you know, whatever while you're on the call, and it's so much easier than like having to like pick a place to go to, travel there, come back, you
Completely.
know, like it's so much. I really wish in real life friends in general, because I feel like it's not just a me thing, it's like an every like body thing, where you could get your in real life friends to do more video chats, because I feel like that would be really helpful. And I wonder why we kind of have online friends and we do that a lot, and then like we have in real
Do
life friends
we
who are like,
do that a lot though?
I do.
I know a lot of people do.
I
yeah.
feel like I've been slacking on the like video chat with friends. Like for me, it's screwy because like I watch people on Twitch and then I'm like, we hung out.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you not counting that?
I was counting that.
Oh, okay, I
Okay.
wasn't. I was thinking about
Okay.
just video calls.
Yeah, I hung out with Sophie the other night. I didn't say much, but I was there. I was in the room.
You were at the party, just keeping to yourself.
Exactly.
That's me in the corner.
That's me in the corner. I love that. Do you guys
I
ever
don't know.
Commitment as well online.
do you guys feel like meetup groups or like stuff like that, like in person, is like too scary for people now? Like that people are like, I'm not going to a group where I don't know anybody, even though we are meeting up to like roller skate.
Literally, when you were telling me to do that, when I was like, I don't really like go out and stuff, and you're like, hey, you should do this meetup group near you, and I'm like, what if they murder me?
Because like we have groups here where like say like if you're a single young adult, like they literally have like singles groups, and like you can go out and do a hike with like 50 people and just like meet people if you like hiking, or like they'll meet at like a barcade and like play games. And but I'm like, are
How do you
people
find
doing
those
that?
groups?
Facebook or
Oh.
Meetup.
I hate Facebook.
Me
Yeah,
too.
I
But the
went with the
Facebook
first.
groups, like there are solid Facebook groups, and you can look like in your area, which is nice to be like, I maybe just want to see if there's people who play like, I don't know, D&D or, you know,
What do you
board
do
games.
if you hate your town?
Move.
Yeah, what happens if your town is just full of loads of people you went to school with, and you're like, what if I accidentally get put in a group with?
Oh no, every time I go to my hometown, I see someone I know, I'm just like, "Ugh, please don't talk to me. I just want to walk the other way."
I
Yeah.
live where I went to high school. My high school is like
Same.
10 minutes away from me, and I rarely see people that I know, which is great. My town is
do.
big
I
though. There's like
know.
300,000 people here, so the
Mine
chances
is
of you
100,000, so I
Yeah.
mean it's a little bit smaller,
is
but
a bit smaller.
well, okay, it's 100,000 without the college, so it's really like 150,000. But yeah,
So I went to nursery, reception, primary school, secondary school, and not quite college, but a lot of people that went to the same secondary school as me went to the same college as me. So like, yeah, at any point I could bump into someone I know. I mean, it's a worry for me that someone I know might like actually join where I work, and I might actually have to like engage in conversation with them.
Would that be so bad though?
Yeah, I hate them. Like, no, I'm joking. I'm joking. I didn't get on with people very well in secondary school. I was really heavily
Here's
bullied.
the other thing that I think about
so-
people in high school. Are you the same person that you are when you were in high school?
Oh, hello.
Because people who knew me in college, I always say like they don't know me. Like you knew a completely different Braylon, who is not the same at all as she is now. So like, and like they probably are not the same person either. You know,
Yeah.
I read this thing once that we like hold on to, like, say you have a friend and you stop talking to that friend forever, you're going to remember them as that version that you knew, even though 10 years from now they're going to be a completely different person and you don't know them at all. So it's kind of
that's
like once
really
enough
interesting.
time has passed, you're both new people. You could treat it like a completely fresh start.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not the same at all. If I met somebody who had only seen me in high school, we would probably be like, whoa, you're so different.
I honestly think I'm mostly the same from
Really?
high school. Yeah, I
my
really
gosh.
haven't changed much, honestly. Like
I feel like you feel
I'm
like that, but
pretty
you
much
probably
a constant person.
you probably have changed just in ways that you like
I mean, a little bit,
don't
but
recognize
not, like,
so much.
majorly.
Yeah.
When I was in secondary school, I didn't realize that anxiety was a thing. And then when I found out that it was a thing, I was like, oh, this isn't my personality. So yeah, like secondary school me like was fully like anxious without knowing about it. And that was like my whole like personality, I guess. So yeah, I hope I'm not the same.
I was very wild in high school and in college. I was like
not.
extremely wild human being, like unhinged and super impulsive.
I
I'm
don't
not
think
like
I've
that
ever been that.
anymore.
I think I've always been called an old soul because I've just never been interested in kind of like any kind of like clubbing, going out.
Oh yeah, clubbing,
Oh,
like going out.
of
No,
thing.
thank you. I'm sorry. I can't do that anymore.
I
I
just
am the
never did
exact
it.
same.
I never
I
went
really
clubbing.
don't think I've
We
changed.
didn't have like clubbing is not really a thing here unless you like live in like a clubbing city. Like I have friends that live in like San Francisco and Miami and like they club. Like but in Arizona, like we went to bars. We never like went to clubs. There are clubs
Well,
here actually, but
Clubs are
it's
like most
super
places, to
icky.
be fair.
Oh, it's
Like-
loud. There's everybody's drunk. People are stepping on you. I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah, no.
That's not for me.
I've been clubbing a couple of times, and I have like Snapchats that come up in my memories.
You're
and
like,
it's
what
it's
step
just
is
like
this?
the text is like, "This is fucking lame," and it's
Oh,
just like
really?
a pan of the club. Oh, I hated it. My friend made me go with her. I took one of those BuzzFeed quizzes, like how old are you, like internally, and it was like 93. And she's like, yeah, because you're a fucking lame that crochets and crafts instead of goes out clubbing. And I was like, no, that's a good time. I didn't own a couch till I met my husband. That was valuable quilting space that he took up.
That's crazy. It is important, I think, whatever, like, you need to find people that you enjoy doing the same activities. Like, I'm like at the point in my life where like I don't ever want to party again. I just want to like have friends over for dinner and like talk and play a board game and like enjoy food and call it a night.
If
Like,
I
I
had
don't want to.
in real life friends who play board games with me again, or card games like Cards Against Humanity or like Munchkin and stuff, I would be in heaven. Like I love playing board games and card games and stuff. No one ever wants to play with me, but like I would be so fucking happy if
See,
ever again I have that.
that there's probably some little group of people that like meet at someone's house every other Friday and like play board games for 3 hours. That's probably like 5 blocks away from you. You just have to find
Maybe.
them.
And takeaway, I'd be like right there. I'd be like, where do you live again? Oh, I'm outside. In my pajamas. Let's go.
Ready to board game.
I wish my best friends were closer.
Is that how they are? You can just hang and
Well,
board game and stuff.
We can just do whatever. Like when I went to visit, when we both went to visit our best friend, we just like it was like time hadn't passed at all, and we were just into our old habits, and we could just do whatever and mess around. It was great. We had so much fun.
I also sometimes forget. I think that's one of the biggest helpers if you're like, especially if you're young and you live alone. This doesn't really apply to you though, Dana, because you live with family. But like, get yourself a roommate. Like, our house is always full and fun because there's 3 of us. Like, it just like adds another element of like, there's like my sister loves coming over here because she's like, there's people here. And like, even if it's just the 3 of you, that's like more than just, you know, being by yourself or being with your spouse. It like adds another layer of funness.
But you knew your roommate before you had him as a roommate?
Yes, but I have had many roommates that I did not know, and I think this scenario with my current roommate is really weird. I feel like it's not usually people don't get along with their friends because I lived with other friends and it was horrendous and terrible, even though we were good friends. But like the rando roommates that I've lived with have always been so much fun.
That's interesting.
Aside from this one. That's my sister's plan. My sister just went through a breakup and she's like 33 and she's like, what do I do? And she's like, oh, I own my house. She was like, I'm just going to get a roommate and have like a fun girl that will live with me and we can like bake cookies and watch Lord of the Rings.
I hope that's how that works.
Yeah.
I don't see why it wouldn't. Like, sometimes people be crazy, but I think that's kind of the outlier.
I'm being genuine. I hope that's how that works. I mean, fuck, that sounds amazing.
Doesn't that sound nice?
I want to keep my husband, though. Like, I like him. I just want to add an extra layer of baking cookies with somebody.
How fun would it be if you just lived in like on like a little commune with all your friends and you all had your own houses, but you could like wave at each other from across the street?
I thought about it.
Although you probably still wouldn't go knock on their door. We probably still would have some weird thing where we're like, they're busy. I don't want to disturb them.
Did you see the TikTok of the 2 best friends that bought a duplex?
No.
So jealous.
I need to see this.
I lived in a duplex with my sister for a while. She lived on one side. I lived on the other side. We did not hang out very much. So.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, so that's I don't know. Basically, I feel like this whole chat has been like you have to put work in to get community. And yes, it's very rewarding, but like it is a lot of work at the same time.
See that? I don't know. It's taking it in baby steps, and I feel like the key as an adult to finding like your people is finding people that can match the amount of energy that you're able to put in, because that's usually where they fizzle, right? It's like one person's putting in way more energy than the other, and then one person doesn't feel like they're appreciated or that they're doing everything, but then it's like the communication. the communication is so important. Like, I treat friendship almost like dating. Like, we are going to get to know each other very thoroughly before we take things to the next.
Yeah, I mean, I've just made actually recently a new friend in real life through work, which I'm really excited about. I have a friend, and we have very much got this like almost the same energy. It's really interesting as well because apart from us, our sun signs, we have the same moon and we have the same ascendant. We have the same 16th personality. We are very very similar people. Just like born like 3 or 4 years apart. And it's really nice because we have similar interests and stuff, and I'll say, oh, have you seen this before? And she'll be like, oh my god, no, like you don't know what that is. Like that is amazing, I love that too and stuff. And it's really nice because like she knows a lot about mental health as well. So when I say like something like, oh, I do this, and she'll be like, oh, because of this, like you say that because you're worried that like I will do this and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is weird. Like, how do you like you know what I'm thinking right now? And it's kind of nice because a lot of the time I feel like when you have mental health issues, when you're talking to people, a lot of people just don't understand you and they don't want to understand you. So it's kind of nice actually just having someone who like has been through similar like situations, has similar mental health, and like you don't have to explain why you are the way that you are. You can just be yourself.
I do
Unapologetically
feel
be
like
yourself.
mentally ill people should hang out with other mentally ill people as a
Yeah.
mentally ill person myself. It just
As
like
a-
removes a lot of energy like that you don't need to waste if like you don't have to over explain things to people, you know, if you can just be like, I'm having a depression day, I'm canceling our lunch, and they're like, oh, I get it, like cool.
Yeah. It's
A
nice.
non-mentally ill friend, you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, my dog, I can't come to lunch, something happened. Like
I still wish it was acceptable to say, my mom said I can't come. Like, she said I gotta like clean my room today. Like, sorry.
I mean, I'm getting to the point where it's just like, I just don't want to. And that has to be okay. If it's not okay, then that's kind of like a you problem because I don't want to.
Totally.
It is funny though because like our AI Twitter post said, we all have anxiety. You know, we all are able to talk and like learn from each other and stuff and not worry so much because we are all slightly mentally ill in different ways.
And guess what? We all have it.
We all have it, as our tweet said. And it's nice, like Brennan's saying, get yourself some friends that have some, you know, mental health issues. If you do as well, you know.
Now taking applications for the mentally ill.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like you understand each other more. There's less like communication issues a lot of the time. I mean, we're all learning from each other. We're all like I feel like we're all in different places of growing and learning and stuff, but that doesn't seem to be an issue. Like we still learn from each other no matter what.
Because we're not assholes. That's the bottom line, really. It's like when someone comes to you and they're like, I'm really struggling with this and da-da-da, like that's not the time to like, you know, put somebody down, put them in the dirt. Like, of course we're all going to be supportive, man, because we've been there too. We've been on, you know, both sides.
But, like, a lot of people who haven't been through that are assholes without realizing it, I think.
Yes, yeah.
And they just don't care enough to try and understand that. And that is the hard thing about being friends with people who do not understand your, like, issues, like, your problems, like, and don't want to try and help or listen or even just not be an asshole.
Which, I mean, is fine. Like, would I want to hang out with a bunch of mentally ill baddies if I wasn't one myself? Like, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't, and maybe that's fine if they don't, you know, want to.
It's all about finding people who fit with you best, I think.
Yeah. Which, and like Steph says, can take time and can be like dating.
Yeah.
I'm just out here trying to be friends with anyone as long as they're not assholes.
That's kind of how I am
Hey.
too.
That's a good motto. Be friends with people who aren't assholes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even covert assholes, people that don't know or don't realize that they're not self-aware enough to realize they're being assholes. Get rid of them. Bye.
Or they don't have someone in their life to be like, hey man, you're kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Are
If they
you?
are a dick, hopefully they can at least take that if you say it. Because I do know a few
Most of them
people who can
can't.
take that.
Can they? That's good. Well, they
Some
should be
can.
able to.
But not all. There's definitely. Woo. Avoid the ones that can't. That's a red flag.
Avoid the
Just
people
walk
as well
away.
who think that they're perfect and don't need to change, and that all the problems that they have are to do with other people and never them, because red flag.
Red flag.
Like,
Huge red
huge
flag.
red flag. They have problems. They just aren't willing to admit that anything is their fault.
Yep.
Or that they need to change in any way possible.
Yep. Gross.
Does anybody want to share how they faked it these last 2 weeks?
I worked a lot of hours this last week. I guess I'm faking it in the sense that I kind of have to pretend that I still want to be this driven career woman, and we'll get through a breakthrough and we won't feel so yeah, I was telling Blaze right before stream, like I think it's the strain. I think it's the strain that I've been smoking on, because I'm just like, there is no point to anything. Why am I
It's the
doing
period
this?
depression.
Oh God, it's
You
been
said you were
so
on your
bad
Shark
this
Week.
week. Oh God, I cried like 4 times before Tuesday, and I
That
think I
is-
ended up like closing my week out at like 61 hours. I'm
Damn,
a little bit tired.
that does not help your
Yeah, if you're tired,
No.
that's
Oh, I'm
There's-
exhausted.
two things that happened that trigger me to know that I am currently depressed. 1, nothing matters. 2, everything is hard.
Oh, everything's so hard and none of it
That's
matters.
a sure sign that I'm like, oh fuck. Like if I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I don't want to brush my teeth, I'm like, oh no, this is not good. Because like putting a dish in the dishwasher is just like, okay, I'm done for the whole day. Like,
Oh, my boss is amazing this week. Like I texted him Wednesday morning and I was like, can I please not come in this week and just like work from home and keep my head down and just like get it done? He's like, absolutely. And like I started crying. I'm getting
That's
emotional
great.
now thinking about him letting me work from home Wednesday, and it's disgusting.
You just
This
need to
is
tell him
gross.
every month on your period, I get depression, so I'm gonna be staying home that week.
Usually I can power through, but like I looked at my to-do list and I was like, there's no fucking way I'm getting anything done if I go to the office this week. And you don't get anything done going to the office. I hate it. It's fine. I felt a little bit better today. I don't feel like everything's doom and gloom. So we're going to fake it for another week or so. And then we have MJ BizCon. So we got a lot coming up. I got to fucking get out of this shit.
Sounds like you need rest.
Like, gotta clean my fish tank. Then I gotta stream. Plan the week. How about you guys? How'd you fake it these last 2 weeks?
So the hour last week in the UK, we gained an hour, and this whole week I have been tired, drained, just mentally drained as well. Like it's not been fun. Like I get home from work and I'm just like tired and I don't do anything. And then like it's been dark and stuff, so then like my seasonal depression has kicked in like fucking quite badly this week as well. Like I've just spent like the whole week crying, I feel like I mean I'm hoping it's doing something for my skin, because like it's gotta have some purpose, right? It's just, yeah, it's not been a good week. I'm really hoping that my body like sorts itself out. I've got next week off work to do my assignment and stuff, and I'm going to try and get back into exercising, because it was helping me a lot mentally and also with my sleep, and I feel like I really need that kind of energy back. So yeah, I guess I'm just keep going. That's my faith in it. Just keep powering through and hoping for the best. I did cancel stream on Tuesday though because I realized I'd streamed 6 out of 7 days, and I was like, maybe I should just take a day off and like self-care. So I did that, which was kind of nice because I spent a lot of the day crying again. So I just watched some Christmas films because they really, I don't know why, Christmas films really help my depression. I just think because there's always like a happy ending. It's always really cheesy and like stupid.
You're also
and, like,
happy.
yeah. I'm
Mhm.
just like, I like this. I'm happy now, like with my blanket and my cat. Like, they got together in the end. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep faking it, keep watching those Christmas films.
I'm trying to think how I faked it. Oh, well, I guess I kind of faked it, but not really. I got asked to do something for work, and I have absolutely no idea what the problem is. So, that's fun. Hopefully, someone else will figure it out. Someone smarter than me. I know someone else is working on it, so hopefully they'll figure it out before my boss is like, "Hey, do you know what happened here?" Because I'm gonna have to say, "No, I have no clue." Absolutely none. But also, I haven't been faking it in the regard that I've started working out again, so that's nice.
Hey,
And I
hell
feel
yeah.
great.
I saw
I'm
that.
so
I saw
proud
your
of you.
post.
I need
Oh,
that
I love it.
energy.
It's been
So
freaking
amazing.
great.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear you say that because that like is gonna help me. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, it
it
totally
is
does.
totally gonna help
Mhm.
me.
Blaze, I feel like, is just every time she talks about her workout, she inspires like another person to get back
Yeah.
into it, and I love it. Like, thank
When you
you.
know,
I
I'm
gotta
gonna be
figure
the
out how to make
same.
TikToks from it.
Once
I
I start
really do.
working out, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna be like, guys, I feel so good. This is great. Like everyone needs to work out. Like I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I
I'm
can't.
like, why did I ever stop? I don't know.
That's the
That's
thing
the
though. Once you stop, it's so hard to
yes.
get back into it.
Why is that? Is that
And
just
I've
an
just been
ADHD thing? It's the fucking
nah.
worst.
I don't
That's
know.
just a person thing. But I feel like wow, completely lost my train of thought. Never mind.
I don't know if I have a way in which I was faking it. I was really trying to think about it. Tuesday I canceled stream, but I just like stayed home and played games because it was like rainy and overcasty, and I was like, I just want to play hooky from work, and I don't think I went to work either. It was nice. I don't know if that
You
counts
know
as
what I
faking
was
it.
gonna say now?
Oh,
I
go
was
for it.
gonna say I've been very nice to myself. Like if I skip a day, it's fine. I just go back the next day. And
That's
it's
the
all good.
key
Good. That
to
is
not
so
quitting.
good.
Is if you stop one day, you just continue on the next.
Exactly. I'm like, hey, I took a break. I needed the break, obviously, so let's go at it tomorrow.
I love that. That being nice to yourself is key if you're going to work out and stuff. Because it's only going to make
And
you feel worse if you're not nice to yourself.
also, you should be
Agreed.
nice to yourself anyway. Like,
Oh, yes, you
we
should.
deal with a lot of shit from other people, and we don't have to deal with it from ourselves.
Hey, that's a good
Definitely.
point. I always think about like, what can I do to make my mind less of a prison? And I've been working on this now for like a few years of just like how to de-prison my mind. And I feel like I'm at such a good point now where like my mind is a helpful resource, not a critic, not a bully. It's a little cheerleader.
Yeah, right? Don't let
I'm
that
trying
asshole
to-
in your head.
Yeah. I am trying to work on my inner voice again. We were doing well, and then like we kind of fell off the bandwagon. Like I stopped doing the ring fit stuff like straight after work and stuff, and then like my voice in my head slightly like started to get meaner, and now I'm like, oh fuck, we gotta sort this out. Like, why am I such a bitch to myself? Like, come on, man. Like, there's no reason for it.
Agreed. Agreed.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening in today. We hope you found some value. Join us on Discord to access resources mentioned in each episode and find your people. Follow us on social media and tune into our next episode. Bye!
Bye.